What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and this afternoon we are going to be diving in to another impressive performance building on last week of Roger Rosengarten, the Baltimore Ravens second round draft pick, coming in and this week taking over first team right tackle snaps. And I kind of called it last week. I said I think this is going to be your week one starter, and I don't see him losing grip of this right tackle competition. Obviously, we saw Patrick McCary slide inside and get the start at center with Tyler Linderbaum out. And so he had the first team right tackle snaps be the week before. Rosengarten practiced first team right tackle all week in practice. In the game, looked phenomenal. Let's dive into it. Let's take a look at why I think he is your locked in week one starter, giving us two bookend tackles in Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten, where if Ronnie is healthy and that knee is healthy and those ankles are healthy, I think gives you a duo that can execute the scheme that Todd Monken wants to execute in the pass game, where he's not going to give help from the tight ends or the running backs. He wants to get five guys out in patterns. He wants both of those offensive tackles to be able to get out in space, and that's what we're going to be focusing on against the wide alignments from the Atlanta Falcons. So let's dive right into it. Before we hop into it, go ahead, hit that like button for me, hit subscribe if you're new here, and obviously drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about everything related to Rosengarten. All right, let's dive in. So we're going to start with a little creep up here from the Sam linebacker. You can see him creeping up over here to the right-hand side. So we're going to get Rosengarten out in space. Good God, a lot of pop-ups here, folks. There, and we're going to see that nice little redirect absorb. So tough rep here because he's going out in space. So you're going to see about three steps. 1, 2, 3. And then he gets a little narrow. And you can see him go into recovery mode here, where he's going to have to backpedal a little bit because of those wide steps. He gives himself a little extra real estate to do so. But right here is where I think is, like, this is what we want to see. This is him dropping his anchor. He's pushing him inside, which I'm actually okay with because he controls the rep. But that ankle flexion, that ability to brace, get those wide legs, because he gets narrow here. You see right here, we're narrow, and he's going to take contact, but then he resets really well, plants those feet, redirects him inside, and you can see right here, this is why I'm okay with him pushing him inside. If the outside linebacker had ran right through his shoulder, whether the ball was out or not, I would have said not a good rep. But because Rosengarten pushed him forward, he had control of that rep the entire time, and that gives me some confidence. So that's him moving out in space, doing what I think Todd Monken is going to ask him to do in the season when he's in at right tackle. Now we have, this is going to be that, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll see I posted it. It's my understanding PFF gave him a pressure allowed on this because Josh Johnson's going to roll out to the right. So we have a couple notes here. We have a 6-eye tech just lined up on the inside of the tight end, and then we have a 9 tech. So we got a wide 9. We're going to see Rosengarten kick out. So basically the way they're setting this is Rosengarten has to get out to the wide 9. Falele's got to get out to the 6-eye. And then you're going to see 50 loop inside and go to the far side A gap and really loop. So as he does that, you're going to get Falele passing off to Rosengarten as they try and process this stunt. And you're going to see McCary, after he passes off, get a little contact there. So Johnson's going to end up rolling out here. I'll play it all the way through. There's Johnson's rollout, and then a little bit of pressure. He steps back inside, gets rid of the ball. So I believe from my understanding, they charged him with a pressure here. I really don't think this is a pressure, and here's why. So Rosengarten feels it coming. Nice little communication. You can see Falele and Rosengarten squeezing. This is a tough line game for an offensive line to process because they have to do 2 pass-offs. So Falele has to pass to Rosengarten while taking over from McCary, and McCary has to pass off and pick up a looper who's coming with a full head of steam. So as that happens, I thought, there's a big recovery needed here. You got McCary blocking 2 guys with 2 arms. Falele's trying to overtake a little bit here, and they're going to get a little bit of a pressure here, but like Falele with his inside hand here, or his inside leg, does a nice job of cutting him off and kind of creating that lane right here. Like his inside foot is a little bit below, but it's not like dropped deep, right? So, and McCary kind of pushes out here. So I thought they recovered really well. I thought all Josh Johnson had to do was kind of step back and hang in, because you have a seal here. You have a seal here from McCary, even though it's starting to look like a hold, but didn't get called. And Rosengarten has no problem with 54. If you watch the way he processes this and picks it up, he ends up pushing him outside there. And the only reason he starts to get to the quarterback is because the rollout happened. If he stays in this little area and he starts to come in, Rosengarten was in a great position. He's fluid, he's quick. You see him step back there, but he could have got right back out to him, just like he did kind of there at the end. So I think that was more a defense making a play on that wide stunt. I think the pressure was more from Josh Johnson not trusting that they were going to pick it up. I think he felt that inside pressure starting to come as they had to go into recovery mode, but credit the offensive line because they did recover well. Both on the inside, they sealed their guys. Rosengarten stayed true to his gap and didn't overcompensate. He just stayed tight, and I thought he did a really good job there. So, it was nice to see him kind of process that line game and keep a good position. Now we get... is this the chip? Yeah. So this was this is the worst rep I've seen him. So I'm just going to preface that. This is the worst rep I've seen from Rosengarten this preseason, and I love studying losses. So let's study this. So we're going to get a wide tech here who's going to come inside, and then we're going to have the DB come up on a blitz. And so 12 is going to chip. Wait, this isn't the worst rep. Sorry, the worst rep's coming later. This one I thought Rosengarten processed really well. So we see 12 chipping here, Rosengarten looking back inside. I think this is the correct play because you are expecting, if you're doing a chip, your guy's going to chip and then peel out and he becomes a check down man. You're not expecting to chip him and then Rosengarten take him over. So that is why he starts to look back inside. And as he does, both the running back and the right tackle end up on him, and that blitzer comes free and forces the throw. But I thought, personally, dealing with that chip right here, I think if he's going to hit that chip, then the quarterback has to know that he's chipping and releasing, and that creates a check down if the pressure comes. So credit Josh Johnson. The ball comes out, no problem. He's not impacted by that pressure. But I saw some folks be like, Rosengarten missed the blitz. If he's chipping, again, he has to look inside because he does see a blitzing linebacker. So you do end up in a situation where the running back and the right tackle, you got 2-on-1 and one guy running free. But credit Josh Johnson because the ball comes out, and it was well over the 3-second kind of rough threshold that you want to have, right? So they kind of picked that up, plenty of time, deep throw. We get into this next one here against the wide 9 alignment. No chip from the tight end. Like I said, he wants to ask his tackles to get out in space and pass block. And then we're going to get some nice independent hand usage. Good fluid mobility there from Rosengarten. So as the contact point comes, you're going to see both hands shoot out. But right here, that left hand is the impact point. Right hand drops. So he's got all the leverage here. As he does, he brings that right hand in. And again, what we were talking about kind of this morning, he's able to move around fluidly and just kind of move around like a power forward, playing perimeter defense in basketball. He's just out there hopping along, no kind of dent at all in that side of the pocket. So really good work there. This was the rep that I referred to earlier. This is the worst rep I've seen, I think, except I don't see the tight end. Where is this rep? Where did I put it, folks? Okay, let's get going here. There we go. Okay, so this wasn't it. It's the next one. My notes are all screwed up. So here we're going to get good independent hand usage again and good footwork. So as get out to the contact point, he's going to get his hand slapped away, just good hand fighting. And right there, that outside or his inside hand latches in, and you can see he's got that vice grip on that inside chest plate. So right here, he grabs it, and you can see him get completely stunted. And then there's Rosengarten just holding on. So nice play there by Tyler Wallace too. So really good work there. Again, independent hand usage, the good fluid movement. His feet look really clean. The best way I can compare it to is, like I said, a power forward playing perimeter defense in basketball where he's just big and he's just making those long strides very efficiently, staying in front of his man, doing his best. Now, folks, the clip I've teased twice already. Here's the worst rep he's had. So there, he's going to get the chip from the tight end. which usually, we haven't seen a lot of this. Not only under Todd Monken, but a lot of this with Roger Rosengarten's side. So he's going to get the chip in, and that kind of screws up the positioning because he completely loses his hands, and Devin Leary gets attacked here. So let's break down what exactly happened and why this rep happened. So again, I like to learn from the losses. So as the chip happens, you see him getting out in space, but the chip kind of pushed him inwards, and when it did, right here is your fundamental problem. You got hands up and wide. So his hands are around his ear almost, and it's the same on this side. So we got high hands, which means our chest is completely exposed. That's where the defensive lineman, you can kind of see his elbow bending here. He's got all the leverage. And then what he's going to do, and I'll try and move it as slow as possible, you can see right there, he's got the chest plate that the offensive lineman, you usually want him to have. He's got the inner armpit where I want my offensive lineman to be attacking, and he just pulls down just to snatch. So, it was funny because I think that chip right there that kind of pushed him into him really messed up his locating because he hasn't really hit high hands. And so when he chips him down, you can kind of see him fall forward here, and then the hands land high. So that's just something he's going to have to get used to if he's going to face those chips. I'd like to see him, stay a little bit narrow and not get as wide because it's going to let him kind of compensate to wherever he ends up after getting the chip. Just a little bit of a learning lesson there, but I thought it was interesting to struggle on the one clip I've seen where he's getting help from the tight end. We move in here. We're going to see nice hands low. So this is the counter, the counterpoint to what we just saw where he's going to land those right there. And now we're back into those cuffed hands, right? So we got inside hands. Same player, 91 against 70. We're going to get inside hands here, and he's just going to cuff him up. See right there? That's what we want to see. He's got all the leverage right in there. Hands get a little high at the end, but that's okay. We got that strong arch back. He ain't moving anywhere. So funny to see those two reps kind of back-to-back as polar opposites of when he lands his hands high versus when he lands his hands low. That's why it's important to keep low hands, keep your hands in tight, and when you hit your punch. Got another wide 9 alignment here. And he's going to put that inside stop sign. So he's going to try and attack him inside. And when I see someone throw up that inside stop sign, we always talk about the feet. I want to see this foot either stay parallel or a little bit of a diagonal. And so when he starts to attack inside, his foot does drop here, but that's because he's just going to push him down the line. So by doing that, he's not giving up any ground, and he ends up burying him at the end of the rep. So like how he reacted there because it doesn't give that inside lane to the quarterback. He finished him. The only thing that I would flag as a bit of a concern is you can roll up your own offensive lineman by throwing him down the line. But that's football, right? If he's going to attack inside, you got to be ready. And I'd rather that than, giving a clear lane to your quarterback. So I thought he played that really well. Now we get into some of the run blocks where I thought he had a much better game. If you guys watched last week, that was my big criticism. We're going to get power right here where he's got a down block and drive his man. See him right there. And he's going to get a little help from Charlie Kohler and drive him right there. Gets the help though, but enough to kind of push down, clear his lane as Voorhees came around on the pull. Now we're going to see on these next two really good athleticism, and this is where he's going to do well as a run blocker in this scheme. If Todd Monken wants to go with that wide zone, outside zone scheme with Derrick Henry that he's so used to running in Tennessee, this is going to benefit Rosengarten where he can use his athleticism. He doesn't have to get guys in drive block situations. He needs to gain leverage and maintain leverage. So here we're going to go, I think, wide zone to the left if I have it remembered correctly. And he's got to overtake from Falele, which you can see right there. And that's a nice drive block. So he's just going to drive all the way through and create that cutback lane. So as he drives, creates that lane where Chris Collier is going to be able to cut in behind him. They had an unblocked defender, which isn't ideal, but they're trying to push the ball to the left. That just happens on the backside, but still a good gain. And then I grabbed this angle too, so you're going to see Falele and Rosengarten, who I thought worked really well. We just saw them work well on that rep. We're going to see them here. This could be your potential week one starting right guard, right tackle duo. They're going to drive 71 and just kind of keep moving. So his whole plan here, he wants Falele to overtake as he gets up to 45, but he gets pinched by 51 coming inside, so he can't get to 45. So I like how he just maintains, keeps driving, and then once he gets into that drive block situation, Collier set this up really well. He kind of goes outside and then he cuts back in because that forced 45 to get outside, whereas he's kind of, almost getting a little bit of a cheat coming around. As he does, Collier is going to cut up, and they're doing a good job at driving, so another good gain there. Get one more. Going to work that combo with Falele. See Falele run right through that inside shoulder, get into the second level. Rosengarten taking over and clearing his man. So much better drive blocks when he got into those situations in this game. So overall, his pass protection looks great. If you guys follow Coach Evans, go check out his channel, Sip to Tally. He did a video on his pass protection yesterday. He really got into the weeds on it. The technique talk was great, and you can really see where Rosengarten's excelling, and that's in pass protection, out in space. That's what the Baltimore Ravens needed. That's what Todd Monken needed. That's what Lamar Jackson needed. Where we needed to see improvement week to week was in his run blocking. You guys just saw the clips. I'd argue we saw that improvement. He's maintaining leverage a lot better than he did last week, and he's getting a little bit of drive on guys. That's just going to get better as we go, especially as he gains strength through the NFL weight program. Overall, very impressed. I think this is your week one starter. I think with him and Ronnie Stanley, he's going to have his rookie lumps, don't get me wrong. He's going to have to go against TJ Watt for 2 games, and that's going to be a goddamn battle. But I think he's got the athleticism, the mobility, and the intelligence to do well. So I'm really excited to watch this guy. I hope you guys are too. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of Roger Rosengarten, and let me know who you want to see next. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.